So what should you use for your business, Mac or Windows? It doesn't matter. Go what you're comfortable with, but use it for your whole business and use it for the long run. Pick one, go with it. They're both solid operating systems. They're both secure. Just pick one and go with it. Okay, should you get a laptop or a desktop? Well, nowadays, price isn't a whole lot of difference, but desktops are easy to repair. They're usually upgraded easier, and there's more upgrade options to them. But laptops provide a lot more mobility. So if you're ever planning on working at home, get a laptop. If you know you only want to work at work and you don't want to take it with you, get a desktop. Also, desktops are sometimes easier to work with, but you can do the same with the laptop, but you have to get a docking station, a little bit of extra cost. Personally, in the businesses I've been in, a lot of small businesses, I find that owners and people associated with them are kind of overly dedicated to their business like myself, and they take their work with them wherever they go. So it's kind of like a mobile workforce. I find that laptops, docking stations are generally the way to go. So what kind of specs should you look for in those computers? Let's get specific here, and it might be over your head, but write this down, and when you go to shop for that computer, you're going to see it. Get the best processor you can afford. i7 is probably the leader. It's going to be about the fastest processor you're going to see in desktops and laptops. i7, like I is an igloo. It's the top of the line Intel processor. I'd stay away from AMD. Intel kind of has the market corner. They have the best processors. AMD isn't bad. They're not bad processors. They're good processors, and they're fine for a lot of people. We just happen to love and recommend Intel. If you can't quite swing an i7 processor, get an i5. i5 is a good general processor. We sell most of the workstations we sell to our customers are i5s. They're good general use processors. I kind of avoid i3 processors. It's something I would have my grandma use, and actually it's one she does use. She just surfs the web, checks her email, that's it. When you get into a little more advanced tasks where you have multiple windows open, you're gonna really benefit from that i5. All our computers are i7s because we like fast. We don't like sitting there and waiting. RAM, get at least 8 gigs of RAM. You can upgrade it later. Most computers easily upgrade to 16, 24 gigs of RAM. Most laptops have 2 slots. You'll want to fill them both. So it's going to be paired RAM in the slots. So if you have 16 gigs of RAM, you're going to have 2 8 gig sticks of RAM in the slots. Why do you want to have 2 matched pair? Because it's 2 points of entry. That means the computer can talk to one 8 gigs or both 8 gig sticks at the same time instead of one 16 gig stick. There's only so many paths in and out of that RAM, and it can talk to both of them at the same time. Not as important, but just the small things. But processors are more important. Get the biggest processor you can get. Another little thing to look at is kind of hard drive you're getting. There's traditional hard drives which operate like a record. They spin inside the hard drive or inside the hard drive case. Then there's the newer ones called SSDs, that stands for solid state drive. It operates on the same technology that the little thumb drives or flash drives, the little ones that are the size of your thumb. That technology has been expanded and made into full-size hard drives. They're usually about that big, and they're full hard drives now. They're a little more expensive, but they're about 10 to 20 times faster than a traditional hard drive. Your higher end computers are going to come with those hard drives as the main drive, and the hard drive is always the bottleneck in the computer. So if you can get a computer with that kind of a hard drive in it, get it. Spend the extra dollars, and it'll serve you in the long run. It'll give you extra life and extra speed. What kind of video card do you need? Do you need a video card? Lots of computers you're going to buy these days have onboard video. What does that mean? It means the video is integrated into the motherboard. It doesn't have what's called a dedicated video card. Why would you need a dedicated video card? Are you working in Adobe products? Are you working with Photoshop, InDesign, all these products where you're doing video rendering, picture rendering? If you're doing that kind of stuff, get a dedicated video card. What that means is it's a separate engine just for rendering that stuff. Otherwise, what it does is it shares the processor, uses some of the dedicated video, or uses some of the onboard video graphic engine, and then some of the processor engine. And but what you really want is you want to offload some of that work, or all of that work, onto the dedicated video card. It'll make your computer a lot faster, so you can multitask, so you can hit render in Photoshop or whatever process you're doing, and it's not going to slow everything else down. So while that's rendering, you can go about and do other stuff. Okay, so what kind of computer should you buy? Don't buy refurb. Please buy new. It's going to benefit you longer. Try not to buy last year's model. If you can buy this year's model, it's going to benefit you longer. You might save a few bucks, but you might also be costing yourself longevity. Remember that you're going to be using this computer every day and for years to come, and so are your employees. So it's worth it to spend the extra $100, $200 to get the newer model, to get this year's processor. They actually do, they might name them the same, they might both be i7 processors, but in the generations, they actually do get faster. If you get into the text and the details, there are benchmarks and they do get faster, they do get better. It's like technology. Would you rather get last year's LASIK eye surgery, or would you rather get this year's LASIK eye surgery? It's kind of the same thing. Just spend a little extra dough and just do this year's model.